Hello, this is John Hampton. You're in conservative company. I'm on the road for this video. Today I'm at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego. This is one of 2 locations in the United States where men are transformed into Marines. We'll talk more about that later. But what about the men who transform the men? I'm talking about the legendary Marine Corps Drill Instructor. In addition to recruit training, MCRD is also home to Drill Instructor School. Today I will be interviewing Gunnery Sergeant Sims. Gunny Sims is a drill instructor at Drill Instructor School. We'll be talking about both areas of training and also some of Gunny Sims' personal experiences in the Marines. I hope you like the video. Alright folks, as I said earlier, I'm here with Gunnery Sergeant Sims today. Gunny, thank you very much for spending some of your time with me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm sure that the folks are quite interested in hearing some first-hand accounts about Marine training and life in the field for Marines. So first of all, if you could tell me, where did you go to boot camp?
I went to boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina, back in 1996.
1996?
Yes.
All right. And what is your MOS right now?
My MOS is I'm an O2. I'm an intelligence analyst.
What does an Intel Marine do?
We gather information, put it together so that everything that we compile can be used towards deterring any type of terroristic acts or to improve a mission for Marines, and gathering information on maybe certain key individuals or ensuring that that we keep the nation safe with protection of our own natural assets or information.
Great, obviously a very important job. And you did a tour in Iraq, is that correct?
Yes, sir. 2.
Okay,
yes,
and can you tell me basically how was life in the field in Iraq? I know that especially during the summertime, Marines are out there with all this gear on. It's probably, what, 115 to 120 degrees sometimes?
At times, or it feels that way.
Yeah, tell me about some of the, general experiences that you had over there, what life was like in the field for a Marine, and maybe some of the hardships that you endured there as far as heat and things like that.
Yes, I actually went to OIF 1, the initial push. And during that time, the living conditions for that time back in around 02 weren't bad at all. From what I looked at, it seemed that the gear we had was a little outdated because Marines at the time were used jungle warfare. So, you know, dealing with Desert Storm, they had gear left over from that, and I felt like we were, you know, just a little bit behind on that. But for the most part, it was always hot. Taking a shower, everything was timed. The chow wasn't too bad. The hours were long due to the fact of my job and continuous observation of things that we had to do, and just the initial preparation for it was very strenuous on that part. It was stressful, but due to the fact of on that tour, we didn't. You know, the opposition, it wasn't that strong of an opposition at the time. Now on my second tour, when I went over there, we were doing more of we were pretty much getting closer to the closeout of Iraq. So a lot of the patrols we went on, a lot of gear, full combat load, doing a lot of immediate action drills, just getting prepared to, you know, cross outside the line and go out, you know, leave out of the fob. And Marines were, you know, always, every time you cross the line, it didn't matter what city or what area you were in, or, you know, what the possible threat was, you always seemed to be on a high state of alert. You never want to rest on your laurels.
Right.
So, but the accommodations, as in our living situation for Marines, you know, as long as we got somewhere to lay our head and, you know, get some hot chow, right. I mean, we're good. And you know, the Marine Corps did more than what they needed to for us. The last tour I did was about 12 months, and you know, with being able to still stay in contact with my family and you know get on the phone and call the wife every blue moon was a blessing, and it made it easier to handle my job and stay focused.
All right. Now, let's go into drill instructor school. What brought you to drill instructor duty?
I was around 13 years, and I had been trying to go into to drill instructor, but due to the war that we've been in, my MOS being a critical MOS, I wasn't able to get out of my MOS to do so. I've always wanted to do a B billet and be able to give back to the Marine Corps, and to have an opportunity to make Marines and give that back to the Marine Corps was something that I had to jump on. So we were turning down from Iraq, and I resubmitted my package and was able to get selected to be able to come down and attempt to be a drill instructor, and it was one of the greatest things I've ever done.
Ah, that's outstanding. And when you say B billets, you're talking about drill instructor, recruiting duty, and Marine security guard?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, yes, those are great duties, and of course it's only the highest quality Marines that are chosen for those billets. Is that correct? You have to be recommended by your OIC and...
Yes, sir. And it goes all the way up to headquarters Marine Corps, and you know, what is said is that people that go on B billets, especially drill instructor, are the top 10% of the Marine Corps.
Outstanding, yes. Now, can you give me a brief overview of drill instructor school? How long the training is, some of the subjects that are covered, physical fitness,
yes,
testing, etc.?
Yes, sir. The school itself is around 11 to 12 weeks, and it covers everything from recruit training. We pretty much reteach the Marines all the information for recruit training. We do not treat Marines like recruits, but we show them all the training days of recruit training, the different types of PT events, the physical fitness events, all the different obstacles when they do the different obstacles, how to train the recruits. So it's very strenuous on them due to the fact that it's a school environment and everything that we do is very regimented. At the same time, though, we expect our drill instructors to be in a high state of physical fitness, and as well as be able to be well versed in the standard operation procedures of recruit training and in Marine Corps uniforms, from uniforms to rules and regulations, UCMJ, all of those things. As well as we instill to reaffirm that the Marines understand what honor, courage, and commitment is, and how to convey that to the recruits, because this is the beginning, this is where we give birth to new Marines at. So right. To be able to instill that foundation of honor, courage, commitment, the drill instructors themselves have to have a great understanding and grasp of that knowledge so that they can pass it on to the new recruits.
Boy, it sounds like a very comprehensive course of study.
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay. And how long have you been a drill instructor now? Been involved with drill instructor school?
Well, I've been a drill instructor for 2 years and 7 months, and I've just recently made the move over to drill instructor school.
Okay, very good. Well, let me ask you a couple of questions about recruit training. Can you tell me about how often do new recruits arrive at MCRD?
Depending on, you have your winter and summer months. Like right now, we're coming towards the tail end of the summer push, so we're getting recruits every week.
Every week.
Every week. Now in the winter, we can go from two to every 3 weeks where a new batch will come in. It depends on the time of year.
Okay. When do they get their first haircut after they arrive here?
It's almost immediate. It's the day after they get here. So they come in that evening, and then the next day they come in for haircuts.
And they normally come in the evening, you say?
Yes, it's usually really late in the evening. I would say anywhere from 01 into that time, and then that's when the whole process begins. So okay. It's to disorientate them so that they can lose a track of time.
There are 3 phases of recruit training, is that correct?
Yes, there is, sir.
Can you give me a little basic overview of each phase of training?
Oh, yes, sir. First phase is pretty much the beginning of the indoctrination. That's when we strip them down, break them down to, you know, pretty much to the bare, and then we begin to build them up. This is where we teach them pretty much how to be a recruit. Because before you can learn how to be a Marine, you have to know how to be a recruit first. Okay. And in first phase, that's what the purpose of that. That's where your discipline is instilled. We give them the in-house procedures and where they learn how to conduct themselves from a day-to-day basis as a recruit. That's when their first taste of physical fitness, PT, and as well as drill. So that's what we do in first phase.
Very good. And second phase. Can you tell me what
Second
happens in
phase,
second phase?
yes sir. Second phase, that's when we go up north. That's when we start dealing with the basic warrior package, and where the recruits learn how pretty much to be a rifleman. We handle the rifle range, we do some field training, land navigation, and things of that nature. That is a 3-week process that occurs in second phase.
3 weeks.
Yes, and which also includes team week. So, which they do is, and they go out and they work somewhere along bases. They can go work at the mess hall, at supply, and do work and parties. And this is the first time they actually get to move pretty much about by themselves without the drill instructors.
Okay. And is that when the crucible part of the training takes place?
No, sir. That is after third phase.
Third phase.
Yes, in third phase, that's when everything is put together. So at that time, we expect them to begin already have honor, courage, commitment. They should be able to have initiative, discipline, and start that small unit leadership within their squads and within their platoon, and they start making the corrections on themselves and start holding themselves to their own to the standard that we've set. And that's when we sit back and we just supervise and observe and begin to just more fine-tune everything at that point, and then they begin the crucible, and that's the culminating event.
And is that takes place back at Camp Pendleton then?
Yes, it does. It takes place at Camp Pendleton, and the Crucible is a 3-day event, and where they're tested physically, mentally, and where everything from problem solving, dealing with fatigue, hunger, sleep deprivation, and just the strenuous activity of the continuous operation. It's almost, we try to make a combat environment so that they can deal with the mental and physical stress of a combat environment.
Okay, sounds like some good training.
Yes, sir.
Well, do recruits train with the new M27?
No, sir. It's the M16A4.
How is a new Marine's MOS determined? Are they allowed to submit choices? Like, I'd like, in order of priority, I'd like to do this, and then if I can't get that, something different, and then something different, or is it strictly the needs of the Corps, or how is that determined?
From what my understanding is that when they go in to go see their recruiter, they take a test. Depending on the scores of that test, then they're slotted into different categories in which they can choose from a group of different MOSs. After they choose to select the broad overscope of that MOS, then the needs of the Marine Corps would decide which actual discipline inside the MOS that they would actually do. So if I wanted to be an infantryman, which is an 03XX, I will request to do that. Then the Marine Corps would send me off to boot camp. I will leave boot camp and then go to infantry training battalion. At infantry training battalion, then they will make a decision if I'll be a basic rifleman, if I'll be a machine gunner, tow gunner, etc., etc.
Okay, great. And when we're talking about MOS, that's a military occupational specialty, what a Marine's job would be. And can you tell me, on average, what percentage of recruits are unable to complete the training?
Depending on the size of the herd and the time of year, and the time of year actually makes a big difference. I would want to say that maybe 5 to 10% of the recruits wouldn't make it through. And again, that's just not due to them not being physically able to, or not having the intestinal fortitude due to injuries.
Sometimes there are injuries.
Yes, there's injuries or things in their background that might prevent them from being able to handle the mental rigors of recruit training. But we do our best to take all the young men and women that come down here that want to be a Marine. Our job is to train them. As long as they make it here, we'll do our best to train them and ensure that they graduate. All
right. Well, Gunny, that's some pretty good information there. I'm sure that our viewers will enjoy getting a more detailed understanding about Marine Corps and Marine training. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me,
Thank you for everything that you do to protect our freedom.
No problem, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for spending some time in conservative company. Please feel free to leave a comment about this article or any article on my blog. I'd like to know what you think. You can also find me on Facebook.